Hello, Internet. Henry. Welcome to After Campfire. It is 1 in the morning. I've been doing work since like 8 in the morning. I've got another busy day coming up tomorrow, but that is the life, and I will not sleep. Well, I will, but not yet. Um, and this is going to be a great episode because I got a lot to talk about. So, I know a few weeks ago, Henry and I were talking about getting in shape and, working out and things like that. And I was talking about how I was playing hockey and I signed up for a gym membership with my friend Lucas. And I go to the gym often and I do cardio because I found that the one muscle in my body that works really well is my heart, even though the rest of me is kind of broken in a bunch of different places. My legs don't really work well. My arms don't work well. Um, but my heart works really well. I'm really good at cardio. I can do about 3 miles in 24 minutes, something ridiculous. Which doesn't sound like a lot to like people who do sprints, but for someone like me, that's not what people expect. So, um, the reason I bring all this up is because since I've moved home, I have lost 6 pounds. And I've been home for about a month now, which is it's nice. That's a pretty nice feeling. Um, since the summer of 2018, I've lost 26 pounds, 27 pounds, which is nice. Um, and I'm slowly but surely working on it, trying to get to 200. Um, so there's that. Um, last On my last video, I spoke about strengths being weaknesses. Specifically, I was talking about the fact that I have a really high pain tolerance. And if I could make that my answer again, I would. My pain tolerance is ridiculous. And it's to a point where it's problematic because I won't register how bad an injury is for certain things. Um, and so that becomes difficult, like with my knee, the fact that I couldn't bend it, couldn't move it. um, for about 2 days I was struggling, like really badly, and then finally the bruise hasn't gone away but is mostly like gone-ish now, and it's been about 3 weeks since then. It still hurts a decent amount, but like not that much. Like if I poke at it, it'll hurt, but like I'm not doing that often. But I got new goalie pads because of it, because I desperately needed those. I have a bunch of bruises on my stomach because I'm getting a new chest protector because mine is too small. But when I think about like my pain tolerance, I've played hockey through torn muscles many times. I worked for 45 minutes after getting electrocuted because in my mind that was the right thing to do. Um, it's not, but uh, like I've worked through a lot of different pains just because uh, I don't notice it. Like I won't notice that something is as bad as it is because in my mind it's not as bad as it could be. Um, but that can't be my answer. I just wanted to like acknowledge how difficult of an issue this is sometimes. Um, so instead, my answer is pain, but on a different level. I am not a sympathetic person. If you ask if your friends ask, like, you can ask any of my friends. That was a weird way to say that sentence. If you ask my friends, I'm not the most sympathetic friend. You'll be like, "Oh, my life's so sad." Oh, yeah, it is. Like, that sucks. Um, but I'm very empathetic and pragmatic as a friend. I'm the friend all my friends go to for advice consistently, a lot. It's part of why, like, I'm literally everyone's therapist. And the reason why this sucks sometimes is because in certain relationships, people will treat me less like a friend and more like a therapist. And I'll attract these people who want someone to fix them, and that's not always the healthiest way to live, and it's really frustrating at times. Um, Also, it makes like certain tasks, work related, like difficult. Like today, I had to talk about crisis management with a parent, um, and what to do in terms of a crisis going on at home, in terms of calling the police, things like that. And like I was very calm about it. I was very pragmatic, but you can see the physical like pain in her eyes. You could like there's no way you couldn't feel uh, for her and feel this kind of what she was going through, um, which just it sucks. And then to have to leave where I'm literally people's therapist, to have other people try and have me be their therapist is awful. My favorite kinds of friends are the friends that, like, occasionally like, I'll ask for help and they'll ask for help and it's cool and we get along great and that's like fun. But I have a few friends who, well, I don't really have them as friends anymore. But I had friends who, when I was younger, were just like I felt used all the time because of it. Um, that got sad. So that's my answer to my own question. I'm obscenely pragmatic and empathetic, which sounds like it'd be great because it means I can relate to people well, but it also means I relate to people well, and people who need solutions come to me for stuff all the time. So yeah, there's my answer. Henry asked me a much more lighthearted question. If I could cook something that I've never cooked before, what would I cook? And the answer to that is one I've thought of like a lot, and that's arroz con pollo. Um, for those who don't know this, my grandfather is from Cuba. We, when my grandmother moved out of her apartment into an assisted living, we gained access to a lot of Cuban recipes, specifically this recipe for arroz con pollo, which, for those who don't know, is chicken and rice. And I've always wanted to cook it, but it's very difficult and time consuming, and there's a lot of different aspects involved to it, and it's expensive because it involves saffron and rice. Saffron, for those who don't know, Henry, is a spice that's like obscenely expensive at times, so I'd have to figure out how to get that and like do a bunch of stuff with it, and like you have to stuff the chicken with it. It's a lot. So I've always wanted to make it. Um, my mom says it takes like an entire day to really do, so one day. So that's me answering Henry's question. Um, on a similar note involving like food and stuff like that, if if you were to go to a restaurant, like any restaurant in the world, um, like what's the best restaurant you've ever been to? Tell me about your best food experience, Henry. I want to know because I'm really intrigued because I know how you eat. So yeah, what's your best restaurant experience? All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.